in order to ensure food security, peace, and accelerated development for the millions of people in West Africa and beyond. Speaking at a virtual international conference on the West African Food Security Storage System in Accra on Monday, Vice President Bawumia said although individual countries are making efforts towards ensuring local food security, a concerted collective effort is important to ensure security for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, at a time when the global community, and indeed Africa, is reeling from the continuous threat and ravaging effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is timely and inspires great hope. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the vulnerabilities of our food systems and our agricultural sectors in general. In the last 7 years, statistics repeated at various international fora suggest that people facing food insecurity in the sub-region has exploded from 2 million to 27 million as at the end of our last cropping season. This is unacceptable, especially when agriculture offers the best hope of liberating our economies from the chronic malaise that has characterized them over the years.
Reminding the meeting, attended by ministers of agriculture of the 15-member economic community of West African states via virtual link of the historically close links between the countries, Vice President Bawumia said the time to act collectively is now.
We all know that our countries are endowed with virtually all the resources needed to propel economic development, with agriculture as the major driving force. We have arable land, human resource, water bodies, varieties of food crops, and a relatively favorable climate condition. We therefore have no excuses. This meeting is a call to action that presents an opportunity for sharing country experiences, knowledge, and generating consensus on the way forward to building strategic stock reserves in the sub-region. Our economies have strong linkages, and therefore there is the need for building synergies in common areas of clear comparative advantage. We need stronger integration of our markets, as promoted in the ECOWAS protocol, to build the necessary resilience of our economies. Equally, our plan to build a strategic food storage system for the sub-region is a step in the right direction towards addressing the dire situation of emerging hunger facing our people.
Achieving this laudable objective would, however, require finance, Dr. Bawumia underscored. To this end, he expressed appreciation to the donor community without whose support the modest achievements made in various countries may not have been possible. Vice President Bawumia charged the participants to come up with ideas that can withstand the test of time.
Lessons of COVID-19 are too strong to ignore. We have no choice than to be more forward-looking in our planning to deliver solutions to our problems that confront our people.
President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo on Monday assured the NET2 Foundation, a philanthropic organization of government support for its public-spirited activities. He gave that assurance when he met the families of some victims of the May 9, 2021 stadium disaster at the Jubilee House in Accra. The group was led by the former Asante Kotoko Football Club chairman, Herbert Mensah, founder of the NET2 Foundation. The courtesy call on the president was part of activities to mark the 20th anniversary of the May 9, 2001 disaster. On the fateful day, a stampede by fans of the arch-rival football clubs Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko during a crunch match led to the tragic death of over 127 spectators at the Accra Sports Stadium. President Akufo-Addo said government stood committed to offer the needed support to the charity to enable it carry out its activities and campaign to ensure ensure that the unfortunate incident did not reoccur. Commiserating with the victims of the disaster, the President further reiterated government commitments through the Ministry of Youth and Sport and other relevant agencies to ensure public safety.
And to say that I'm happy that we found the time today to meet. I remember, I think it was within 2 minutes of your call to Jacob Echebilamte on that fateful day. He called me. At the time I was Attorney General to inform me about what had happened and the tragedy that has taken place. Tragedies of this sort can only be commemorated and remembered because people decide that they will not allow people to forget it. So those of you who have taken the trouble to perpetuate the memory of those who were caught up in this tragedy and have now grouped yourself into the May 9th Foundation, you deserve the warm applause and commendation of the entire nation of Ghana.
He commended the founding members of the foundation for keeping alive the memory of the victims of the disaster and engaging in other philanthropic activities at ensuring that surviving family members of victims could look to the future with hope.
I'm intrigued by the idea that today that the May 9th Foundation is beyond football. You put it beyond football, that you have embraced a wider social space involving dislocations, floods, dislocations of people in their lives. This is a huge undertaking, and you need a lot of courage and capacity to be able to carry it out well. You will have the modest support that this administration will be able to give you. I can promise you that. So let me once again commiserate with all of you who suffered this awful incident. I'm hoping that since then we haven't seen a repetition of it because the sporting authorities have put in the corrective measures that will prevent tragedy like this occurring again. The Minister for Sports is seeing what package that we can work out on our side to continue the assistance. And soon, rather than later, he will be engaging with you on that.
On his part, Mr. Herbert Mensah reaffirmed the foundation's goal to offer the needed support to the families of those who fell on the fateful day. Mr. Mensah praised the President for being the first to grant audience to the victims of the disaster since the incident and expressed his gratitude for the support received over the years.
20 years, Mr. President, you're the first president to spend time from a very busy schedule. We understand the affairs of state. We understand the difficulties of being in COVID, difficulties in trying to resuscitate things in this very difficult time, which many people perhaps do not understand, but we do. And we appreciate even the few minutes of your time. And so therefore it is critical that I make mention of our gratitude that after 20 years we have finally found a president who actually cares.
The two captains on the day of the incident, Accra Folk Amankwa and Godwin Ablode of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, recounted the incidents and hoped this disaster would not reoccur.
The affected families and then to all Ghanaians who has and Kotoko supporters as well who were involved in that tragedy. And we pray that I know we thank God for almost 20 years now that we've not experienced such an incident. And so, yes, what we do, that we say that we've learned from it. Another part of it, we've not learned from it when we still have some supporters that go to the stadium to, do sort of things that will jeopardize the game. As well as we've learned when we've not experienced May 9th as well. So we're hoping that, yes, as time goes on, commemorating this day, we'll just make it a point of being a lesson, learning, and then maybe going forward, we'll just make sure that such incident will not happen.
I lost a lot of my friends, those who were staying in Medina. They came to the field because of me to come and watch me. And even from that day, we've lost a very good friend. He's called K-Small. Since that day, we didn't see the body up to now. We've not seen him in K-Small. He was also a footballer. He stays in Medina and he came to watch the match. Since that day, we've not seen his body up to date now. So anytime we commemorate this May 19th, I feel bad because I know a lot of people who stay around my area and because of me, they came to watch the match.
Some families of the victims spoke to NET2 TV News.
It's a very sad day for me and the team because anytime we may not pass, I get what kind of pain. She feels a walk of animal. Don't even have a problem. She won't go on your head. When they won't go anywhere, what would they be in a Miami investing?
2 years ago, the incidents that happened. It happened in 11 years. Babake what is school Babake what over page. Yanumagune here, Gino Kulimba one hour, I can weigh just on the area home, the mobile machine. No more drummer, none of my mafia. I mean, even though fair you can. She won't find no more fire can. It won't fire good number, no fair, no fine, you won't. Many victims say, when you want to watch share or bashing.
The Eastern Regional Minister, Seth Kwame Achampong, has broken grounds for the reconstruction of the premier market at Achimota in the Birim Central Municipal Assembly in the Eastern Region. The project, expected to be completed within 9 months, is under the $100 million Ghana Secondary Cities Support Program, GSCSP, financed by the World Bank in 25 municipalities in Ghana. The project includes the provision of 68 stores in 25 municipalities in Ghana. The project includes expansion of the existing lorry park and culverts for the drainage system in the municipality. At the brief groundbreaking ceremony, Seth Achampong stated that the construction of modern markets in 25 municipalities across Ghana shows clearly that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president, has the ears for the needs of the people.
Mantai on my Kessie Namua. A mansini, a no, and Nasa is she, yeah, Nasa Upa, a prayer mantam ha. A mansini and 9 pet, and I hear you. And to bring Central for Monsa Mamma near a Yama Kono, not a son mammy in Nassau, Papa, and a saying. And I said, one sit down, no cake, not all guy home. Baby, then I full. Yeah, deep pavement, yeah, you did share for more. Was your batona at the Chamahan? What's all your young.
He appealed to the residents of the municipality to support the assembly and the contractor to ensure that the project is completed on time. He urged them to ensure adequate maintenance when the projects are completed to serve the required purpose.
The Japanese say, the only penny no order is answer Ghana Mira. I'm a someone. Was a major Nechi, our peer Mantem Mano. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Nimpensi. Nim dear. Any Niswadi Huno, when you are a boy pa, Emma Robert Time. Please see your fruit, dear panel, and I hear the piano. Timesra na a Japadia Papa Yabe, or down upon Tinswing. Yena Yamania send ya, set Yanibacum, not damn mano. You can't say, a few mountain, a mirror, a fine better horse. Yep, a man senior would do all money, no mucha. Now, yes, a daddy former at Nayan, or da, a car will be, or da,
The Member of Parliament for the Addo constituency, Alexander Akwesiakwa, said there are many projects in the pipeline, and after the reconstruction of the market and drains, the problem of flooding during the rainy season will be solved. Alexander Akwa indicated that government will soon fulfill its campaign promise to introduce the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, loans and other supportive programs to help traders in the municipality.
Ahase so here and na onyame adaroma yehuni eno so ababeka ho ye market no a yawo another project no so ewo sa support yi mu a eno no eye flood control drains se no ba so a isia eto mani yiri efa kroi ni ade nyina no enso betwa anase lebrase.
The Municipal Chief Executive for Birim Central Municipal Assembly, Victoria Addo, on her part, stated the rationale for the reconstruction of the market and the lorry park, which, among others, is to enhance the living conditions of the people, especially in the area. Ifua Boatima, secretary to the market woman, described the deplorable nature of the market and the station prior to its reconstruction.
At a chain sota yenya baby and sia nyame adom ene na ye ka te so oda o ma be ya mayen etia na kufu ado say sika na aba no contractors for na wasale to so mo meye sa stores ne gatets ne mayen no ye mpese obi abaye ekululu bia because bibi o mo ji e wodwo me ya bia ye tua etia se mo modern asa mo be ya mayen se de be ya emfa hwe emma ente sa dia bibi anu amoji enya ye be tua.
A total of 56 persons were prosecuted in Accra for various sanitation offences between January and March this year. The prosecution of the offenders followed their failure to comply with the 2017 bylaws of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The offences include the absence of household toilet facilities, unsanitary premises, defective septic tanks, choked drains, as well as the expiration of medical health certificate. Out of the offenders, 14, 18 and 24 were from the Ablikuma South, Ashedu Keteke and Okaiko South sub-metros respectively. Head of Public Affairs Gilbertini Ankra, who disclosed this in Accra, said the prosecutions forms part of ongoing measures by the AMA to enforce its bylaws to ensure a clean city. According to him, during the period, 93 summons were issued, out of which 56 persons were successfully prosecuted, adding that an amount of 33,600 Ghana cedis was generated into the consolidated fund due to the enforcement activities. He noted that the sanitation bylaws of the Assembly mandates every household to have a sanitary facility for the use of the occupants, adding that although over 4,500 toilets have been constructed under the One Household, One Toilet project within the metropolis, some households still do not have. He pointed out that it was an offence under the bylaw if a person fails to keep the drains that are built to their premises up to the middle of the street, clean, provide a standard container for refuse storage, receive service from an unauthorized person, or uses the services of an unregistered solid or liquid waste contractor, or discharges effluent into the open drains, operates a public or commercial toilet without a valid permit, defecates in the open drains, or indiscriminately dumps solid and liquid waste in open spaces, drains, gutters, behind walls, or burns solid waste in one's compound. The AMA he reiterated is committed to enforcing its bylaws to deter would-be offenders and urged all residents to be responsible towards the environment, adding that the Public Health Department would be visiting home premises for routine checks.
Jamaican singer, musician, and songwriter Nesta Marley served as a world ambassador for reggae music and sold more than 20 million records throughout his career. In 1963, Bob Marley and his friends formed the Wailing Wailers. The Wailers' big break came in 1972 when they landed a contract with Island Records. Marley went on to sell more than 20 million records throughout his career, making him the first international superstar to emerge from the so-called Third World. February 6, 1945, in St. Ann Parish, Jamaica, Bob Marley helped introduce reggae music to the world and remains one of the genre's most beloved artists to this day.
Tear it up, little darling, steer it up.
Son of a black teenage mother and a white father, he spent his early years in St. Ann's Parish in the in Kingston in the late 1950s, Bob Marley lived in Trench Town, one of the city's poorest neighborhoods. He struggled in poverty but found inspiration in the music around him. A local record producer, Leslie Kong, liked Bob Marley's vocals and had him record a few singles, the first of which was Judge Not, released in 1962. While he did not fare well as a solo artist, Bob Marley found some success joining forces with his friends. In 1963, Bob Marley, Bunny Livingston, and Peter McIntosh formed the Wailing Wailers. The first single, Simmer Down, went to the top of the Jamaican charts in January 1964. On February 10, 1966, he married Rita Anderson. Around this time, Bob Marley was exploring his spiritual side and developed a growing interest in the Rastafarian movement. Both religious and political, the Rastafarian movement began in Jamaica in the 1930s and drew its beliefs from many sources, including Jamaican nationalist Marcus Garvey, the Old Testament of the Bible, and African heritage and culture. The Wailers got their big break in 1972 when they landed a contract with Island Records, founded by Chris Blackwell. For the first time, the group hit the studios to record a full album. The result was the critically acclaimed Catch a Fire. Before releasing their next album, 1975's Natty Dread, two of the three original Wailers left the group. McIntosh and Livingston decided to pursue solo careers as Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer respectively. In 1976, a group of gunmen attacked Bob Marley and the Wailers while they were rehearsing 2 days before a planned concert in Kingston's National Heroes Park. One bullet struck Bob Marley and another hit his wife, Rita, in the head. Fortunately, the Marleys were not severely injured. Living in London, England, Bob Marley went to work on Exodus, which was released in 1977. Bob Marley had a health scare in 1977. After discovering cancerous cells in his toe, doctors suggested amputation. Bob Marley refused to have surgery because his religious beliefs prohibited amputation. In 1978, Bob Marley returned to Jamaica. More than 30,000 people paid their respects to the musician during his memorial service held at the National Arena in Kingston, Jamaica. Bob Marley achieved several great accomplishments during his lifetime, including serving as a world ambassador for reggae music, earning induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, and selling more than 20 million records. Decades after his passing, Bob Marley's music remains widely acclaimed as his legacy still lives on.